It's a funny other from Mama Cover daily update TV so sending the kind of channel so much so better and subscribe to us edian. Nothing so happy on the notification bell and send away our sons of it to make out the new update. Edit to channel is someone who knows on Ghanaian politics. Yes, I should be several videos so like it. Now I say them. Also, why don't you be edit for video with your comment section? I can and suspend them. Some am not consider a suspended Chief Justice. On one young judge. I dear some de waba base fuzzy ma many pa. I will never be a ma many year or a senate or ye Chief Justice. Near me be a chess or ye I want a judgment him. Chess injustice any the kind of a treatment or demand the fellow and as a colleague justice I know no Supreme Court and High Court and yasem ketwa. As a Brazilian could for a High Court judge at say the caliber of a person a suspended Chief Justice will make a Torkornoo a and a name be a wire in Tiene or no susu say. I say Ghana for na eti any proceedings a ekoso e courton send I be umbiti me I can be a man which him a yen and one pa. Yes, somebody incuting for a mammy who knew a the kind of a Chief Justice for the past 8 years Ghana and Yaya and mammy. What now I would deliver a injustice Edem a Ghana for Moko a copy a atantine and so on yebda. Incutis and a Supreme Court a High Court judge in so I suppose a mammy get Torkornoo suspended Chief Justice.
Proceedings. The court again came to the 8th. This is the only time who said there is a proceedings and there have been suits and others and there have been dismissals and what have you. Possibly. Sometimes senior might be a tour. Now I check on so Anna Woni Nipa Munkuta Woodie at the same. Look. Mekaipa, and I'll say this. Mekaipa recently, in one of the courts, the same in practice, just to represent an interest of some. In one of the courts, no more court meeting. A Chief Justice, one of the seats, I can't sue, he should be offered a hearing or something. One of the recent seats. In open court, High Court judge can say, hey, a young one say, in open court, or say, a young one say, and next Chief Justice, Justice Torkornoo, a case should be heard. Now, almost High Court judges, the only person had a petition echo against almost to Chief Justice, and that's in respect of Justice Torkornoo. Transfer and that it is surprising that such a person will now be asking that she be given the opportunity to be heard.
Now, I say all the altering pattern rule. No, I
think I can know.
Okay.
Sometimes in life, oh yeah, baby, I won't say now
no correct.
Now. Judge in open court, High Court judge, member court meeting. So he is not victimized. In open court, a lawyer home. More like, okay, look, there have been instances where my colleagues that have been transferred by this same Chief Justice just because a party to a suit had gone to, as it were, complain about them. Should not even hear you out. The open one, you go to the movie right here, you go to this village, you go to this town, you go to this town. So the judge will say, look, it's important that everybody is treated fairly because nobody knows tomorrow. So that's it. For me, back on my account, 6 years ago, the young crowd young Kaiji a snubby a day ever. Officer meeting, my board group, Udua, all previous chief executive officers, almost pictures in that dino. That's what I mean. They say, almost pictures in that, my board group. Anytime I enter the boardroom and I see the pictures, do you know what it reminds me?
Debbie.
That this office is not permanent. And yet, you and him, what would you be remembered for? How did you treat people? As chief executive officer, what did you department? How did you relate with your industry people? Those are the things you'll be remembered for. And it's a constant reminder to me, personally, that a public office. Say, I'm who be an actual to the moment associate chief justice. Anna.
Debbie.
Anna. Sebio, or Manpeni, and a Smith now, or cancer. Oh, what body to be a chief justice, a mammy. Who assumes that position? The first thing you must remember, and say, Sebi, who be the two about a man or my penny. And on my penny, Edina so a point to Anna
Sanity,
so that it will become a constant reminder. And only to me, my who said, you are going beyond where the Sebio, I think public office. It is not like I think Neakase where the or your dashing or your brain palm now or your royal or your hair apparent or your way that be. A yanko ponato. Inti senyame nyina domna odiento sampepen so I mean you try as much as possible to show some consideration.
Now Chief Justice one show consideration this anime okay.
So asem na me
are you but you
asem na me say ye nyina se kai nyoma minu miensa bia and then the mayehu say Sebio, now maybe the kind of justice that has been delivered under the tenor of a lady said the Chief Justice. If she is made to go through the same form of justice, will she be happy?
Me too.
Will she be happy? Set you. Judge ni opunima tanu. Judge ni when you go for retirement, you the case Akroma judge for my Lord Justice Anoche Jima. Now Anoche Jima, I take it a brief or so. My share case, and one same doors will be free. So I want to start de novo. Now the next moment, no transferred to Kumasi. Start work the next Monday. Judging or Yejuma. The next thing, bam, you have been transferred. Judging a Yejuma. The next day, you move here. The next day, we say, look, Bakame, we are journalists, near journalists. Our song, every form.
Mate.
Our two message was song. Enter form. Not yet a normal union. Look.
Because I'm not in an old people here lament pa.
What's that?
And when no people in so can't the same thing pa.
Look, me. Minimum beer for no apparent reason. Bam. Not transfer. No, it got to a point that I got the phone in our school. We hear in a normal because we are bam, you better transfer. When you do a thing like that, I said, "What you be a man and cover some more." We are here, you a song by a kitwa. As someone to wa, obeying say a tatra. As some to out means we are a song by a kitwa. When was your beer you come? Beer you come. They said, look, that's a bad so for Akufu in the Dinamu and scatter the impeachment proceedings against Chief Justice Akwa. And then they had the case of Sankaji too. Versus Attorney General. That's how that whole this thing was scattered. Why is everybody quiet now?
No.
Yeah. We need to sit down and do self-introspection. Sebi, so man, penibia wadom. No pija wudum penpensu bia. Yenya nipa enfumso ebatayo. We can't always be perfect. But generally, obvious because now a branch idea, Sebi or born home body, yes, what talk. Tomorrow, 1 or 2 areas, but generally, or born or by. That is how you even make a president who has appointed you proud.
Now, Mammy Muso, why you still say a beya and can nipa be or why you want to committee, and so, and no, so all right.
No, Kwame, the Constitution allows every citizen of Ghana. So only 1 or 2 will be Enyagina. And I'll tell you an interesting story. So there was a day we go to Supreme Court. In a High Court judge, we been with the petition at the bar. Etiano said, "Sebio, Waji Adamuti, High Court judge, the person in Bonity." Into proceedings, no echo sonana or trauma Chief Justice. I think that time it was Chief Justice Georgina Wood. It was a committee, no. Abana committee here in Jumanana or trauma Chief Justice said were resigning. Now, when we say we are judge now or resign here, you are still entitled to your benefit. So that is.
Yes, I know.
The impeachment proceedings no cause, and it is established wrongdoing against you. You can forfeit all your benefits, regardless of how long you have worked. The American say. Background is what are the constitutionalists? Okay, say emergency they call Betty. Okay, say she's a textualist. She's what a textualist. Usually, when we say a judge is a textualist, simply what it means, and then they say, "Ono share the writing, constitution,
any position of the law."
Hello.
Any position of the law,
and then give meaning to it, and
give meaning to it.
Importing anything from anywhere into the wording of the Constitution.
But every baby, so authorities be other case laws be also it must be applied, and they do baby so okra it be a me kind waha. But me the way super come it may be in consonance with the make and make me the way.
But I'm a engineer who shall no a textualist. So that at the public vetting to become the Chief Justice, also on there were textualist. But Oshe relief 1. I said men are no okay. Sebi. Then she has the right. And that right is within it. Right from me. Article 146(7). So, or say, the proceedings shall be held in camera. And you understand?
Mandatory.
Mandatory. And you understand?
What's Article 146(7) or say?
7.
The committee appointed under clause 6 of this article shall require into the petition and recommend to the president. I want to make any.
Yes, it is also.
To the president whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office. All proceedings under this article. All proceedings.
All
shall be what? Shall be held in camera. Camera no kwano e was said it was no.
Yeah,
in camera. And the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer or other expert.
So the provision and clear.
And also a entrenched provision.
Or say sha.
Yes.
Oh.
You want to be son.
When you be in fact, it is that provision that became the subject matter of the Ԥȧṅiｃ versus Attorney General. As Supreme Court here, I interpret it. So what are we talking about? Huh? Now, Sebio, if there is no right, there cannot be an election. So what I say, if there is no right, if the thing is not optional, there cannot be an election. An election in the sense that which means deciding what you want. You can't decide, say, oh, make this provision, I want to comply with it.
Because there be our court to say, Uncle Fokra, yes, and I say, the panelists, no, yes, one more by no, I'm a nipa abehebia. Will be better be the court to say no, is against it.
You stop them because they themselves will be engaging in illegality.
Sure.
Unconstitutionality.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, to the extent that the Supreme Court can say, even to the extent that even a copy of the petition found its way on the front page of a newspaper, that whole thing is tainted with illegality.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And this is the decision of the Supreme Court. Ԥȧṅic versus the Attorney General.
Okay. Lord, Mami Nyao na yan ready and some subesi why wadawruma na kwaya dwuma.
Ena Kwame. Kakra Sebio Milibeli Mr. Elidie. Yema the Constitution. You see, the thing with law, their decisions are sometimes the cocoa decisions be bad. You can say that this one there. No. But the court has decided. I remember a famous statement by this suspended Chief Justice. Also, the public can make a noise, but the law
is the law.
Is the law.
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, I heard her say that.
But I mean, what has changed? Any day more, me say, Ghana Funina, maybe so. Entina me de da bia me ba ofidie so asem bia ya na me kana me say o wi ofo nsa
na wa hwewodie
that's it.
That's lawyer
for me that money na sesam jebe na mde video na chese lawyer Dr. Ďiṛฐiẏ makru ana tin kan de sanse mu nyina wo chese a high court judge onu ana o ka kire onu Ďiṛฐiẏ makru se no momo yi pass enne suspended Chief Justice Mame get to talk on say or pesa public ni nyina inti ni proceedings a ekoso court o say yen ngonga pa because omo ho no so masem ko Supreme Court a enya de mpa Mame no efa atwempo yi any investigation bia nipa na obeka asem ne kire omna na chese Mame na tie na chese wo yi o mo transfer o mo ko baby fufuro kra wo da o say obibi sa o mo say asem na etise ya na say etise o still sure nientia enne judges omo Ghana ha nyina aye din a omo pese ombe support Mame na so mbeka Mame na se ma ekoso ne bi nyina nim se efri se ade a Mame na onu mo ni ye kura for the past years a Mame ne betina Chief Justice akonya so ase Ghana is Supreme Court president no ade a all the other judges and as the colleague judges nyina oma ye adwuma infi omo di osuru and now aye adwuma because enne so hu ba asem sisi a na wasem kopie Mame no Supreme Court enya de se Mame no ebetie o anase obibi sa pusa asem se na matia fa ho etese anase etese into ono enne no so ono no expect se obi emeka na asem ni bi man nipa a wo no obi de na asem ba wontie na wo expect se obi nka wa asem ni bi Mame ne se ye no pa se uti Dr. Ďiṛฐiẏ makru ya o se ye no pa o se so uchirima the kind of judgment Mame we deliver the man crofo no obisa host ne say senka the same judgment in the mama and uncle bepana. And with previous days, you know, say a lot of people about Bontina the caliber of person I mama get with justice talk on or tear. I'm a yet ninko for MP before you be crab babontin have a chirese high. I dear mamma on ninko for any year cora. And then as a year doctor, a year Judicial him say, on one and cross for judges are no more year Jumano cry. And ne umunyina number because on no more than a year as of better now. Saying dear say, Yadoko a public service beer, who say that position and ya would dear permanent, and a young woo be a mamma to her say, yet the position more as Chief Justice. Unquani I will see the Chief Justice the Juma Babashawansa in Trumo be a hosa. That position is a temporary position at President to show Juma Bosso. And now, dear, and so far with all the news about continuing, I just na mammy quano undeserve not painful at all. And as I said, not done quick for the former president at the position, and now be the position now. What by contain a fellow judges so. Mumu ye juma in fear, see or mokra the open, now do my now transfer or passabasa son. And I will promote you juniors over them and I say ahead of them. And nothing as our share and ne on Kuana can ujina aquano. Anka judges a wokum in a bit me can be a man as woman in our command. So see Doctor a Ďiṛฐiť Makruya. This same issue a BSida as soon as I papa or any colleagues ne relate yenti. Omo bemu anambechi papa no how come say wo de obi a kana no atum na chese wonu wonye wo fellow judges and also colleague judges ni nyina pese wonko cause you didn't serve the purpose I do bet now say be no oba ho as say in favor of some particular people and as nipa na o that position so oba be born in nkrofo etiefo se uti doctor Ďiṛฐiť Makruya o say you assist on your position and I say yes sister wo be of once no ahwe onso wo de cause ne ana ohun say wo a position papa bia can who say ochine bi won remain in that same position. If you see when you subscribe ya make sure to tap the subscribe button and say dear mama I think so tap on the notification bell and send be ya on so sabiti maka already know update ya to channel so mo hone ko sangane politics as I share it about cause video so like now share there. That's all I didn't show you. I did 5 video one or the comment section. Every day, now can answer so idea. Some of the end macro. Bye bye.